switching to a bill that would legalize small games of chance in bars and taverns, things like fish bowls and punch boards, a bill that passed the Senate. But like some other things, it seems to be stalled in the state house now.
Yeah, you shouldn't necessarily blame the House because, the
Senate passed it.
I'm not defending the House, but what you made it sound like the House is always a delay. It's just amazing how bills pass and they sit. If they pass from the House to the Senate, they might sit there for a while and vice versa. So I can't believe I'm doing this.
You're defending
them.
the House.
I will defend them at this point.
I have no problem with that, but that is where it's sitting right now.
That's where it's sitting right now. Well, there are a couple different bills out there, and I don't have them here in front of me.
Well, you've raised some concerns about the idea, particularly that making sure the proceeds go to the elderly. Is this bill a good idea or a bad idea? You're not a big fan of expanded gaming, I know.
Well, unfortunately, we see it all across the country now, don't we? Right now, all proceeds of the lottery go to senior citizens. Right. And, there is a shortfall coming in that. We know it's coming because we're not keeping up with the growth of the senior citizen. The baby boomer generation is aging into that and aging into the use of those lottery funds. So I'm concerned that when you divert money from a gaming process, other than in the area where we're using casino money for helping to reduce to some extent property taxes, that money really probably should belong over in the Lottery Commission. There's a strong debate going on in the legislature on that.
There's also talk about internet gambling possibly coming to Pennsylvania, or at least it's being looked into. If we have it in bars and taverns, and if we are able to gamble from home.
Those discussions are early on. Mm-hmm. But let's take a look at what's motivating this. I draw to this, pensions.
Yeah, we need money.
Say, we need money. We need money. We continue to spend an additional $500 to $650 million new dollars every year to keep up with the pensions because of the mistakes that were made a decade ago. And rather than deal directly with the pension, we're just trying to find additional money. Now, I will say in meetings with the Republican leaders a couple of weeks ago, there seems to be a willingness now to revisit the issue of pensions and try and do something, because otherwise we're going to be looking for every source of revenue in order to just pay the pensions in the future.
When you say revisit, that would almost have to happen next year, right? Because there's just not a lot of time left here in the fall.
Depends on what they revisit.
And next year's an election year, so it's tough to get any major things passed.
But next year they also have to come up with another $600 million.
Yeah.